Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Mattel Brick Shop Hot Wheels 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. Mattel's new Brick Shop lineup of products combines Hot Wheels' expertise with scale model cars with the fun of DIY brick sets. These are a direct competitor with Lego, and they feature affordable 1/32 scale models that are about $20, mid-level 1/16 ones, which are around $55, to the premium 1/12 model that we have here. In this review, we're going to be looking at the first set, which is the Mercedes 300 SL, and it's a really iconic car in real life and really beautifully done here. Packaging wise, you can see really nice, bright graphics in a very heavy box. And immediately you can see the big difference between this and Legos, and that's the fact that you actually have metal pieces. So there's a lot of die-cast parts here, from the hubcaps to the wheels, and they include a little car here, which is really cool. There's also two variations of this. You have opening doors, opening windows, and you can see you have a both road design and then the more race or outlaw style. Here you can see more details, and they include functioning steering and a fully detailed interior. So a really beautiful scale model that should be a lot of fun to build. As far as the specs on this, the retail price is $130 currently. Again, this is 1/12 scale, so quite large, and it has 1,600 pieces, so a lot of pieces to build. Packaging wise, you can see you have the whole front die-cast parts that are removable here, and that includes a really nice premium 1/64 scale of the same car in the same color, and the other die-cast parts like the little tag, the rear mirror, and even the front badge. You can see they include a ton of little pieces and bags. And the big difference between this and say Lego is the fact that you have so many smaller sets. So there's about 28 of these bags compared to the 6 or 7 you get with Lego. So building it is a lot smaller. You don't have to deal with so many parts and sorting them. You just focus on 2 bags at a time. As far as what's included, you can see you get the full acrylic holder case for the die-cast car. You get this really cool tag too that's fully metal that attaches to the bottom of the car. So this is a little Hot Wheels tag. You can use it as a keychain or attach it directly to the car. And then you can see an example of the die-cast wheels here. So fully detailed, and something you can't just get with the standard design of plastic. And then the hubcaps as well. So this one's the spare, and you can see you have a full set of full size ones, and then 2 sets of hubcaps that, again, all metal. So we get all the little pieces, and then if we take a quick look at the instructions, you can see really thick and very detailed, so you can see exactly which bags you need for each stage. And then how to put it together with this color matching and nice illustrations and arrows, very similar to Legos, but you can see with brighter colors and a lot smaller sets between each stage. There also is a sticker set, but a lot of pieces are actually printed. So these stickers are fully optional. So you have the little top visor for the screen, special number decals if you want to make this look more racy, and even the Hot Wheel decals. But again, fully optional. All the main pieces are printed on, which is a really nice improvement compared to Lego, as it can be really frustrating to attach the stickers to the correct location. One of the cool features of this brick set is that it actually includes an exclusive die-cast model. And this isn't just any model, this is actually a 300 SL RLC, which is their Redline Club version. And that means it's the most collectible and most detailed model of this casting. And you can see really nicely done. It's a blue enamel paint that matches the actual model very well. And you can see you have the metal base Real Rider rubber tires, steely wheels on here that pair well with the actual car. And then you have the opening gullwing doors, and that's a big difference between this casting and the premium or base mainline Hot Wheels. So this one you actually get the moving parts. And then you can see some of the details here. Fully detailed grille, headlights. The metal polished base actually works really well as a bumper. And then side accents, you have these little grille openings here. And you can see they actually have depth, so they're not just a graphic, they're actually cut into the casting. So same thing with the grille It really gives it some three-dimensionality and matches the real car. Even the arches around the wheels really match the real car very well. And you can see if we look at the back side, you have taillights. You even have the exhaust, which is part of the base, so it's molded into the metal base with a little black decal at the end to make it look like it's hollow. But again, overall casting's really nice. You have all the logos, so really high part count on this. And really detailed. Around the windows, you even have the nice silver trim, so it looks real. And then you can see you have a rear view mirror. And with the doors closed, actually really nice gap, so it looks really nice. Not misaligned like some of the other RLC models we've seen over the years. On the interior, you can see with the doors open, they stand up nice and tall. And they even have detailing on the interior with the seats and dashboard. So it has a nice blue pad, a plaid design with the tan interior. The steering wheel almost looks like a mistake with a lighter color, but if you look at the real photo of the car, it actually has that same lighter color, so it's a perfect match to that. And you even have a little bit of silver on the shifter to give it a little bit more detail. So a really nice car overall, and a nice addition to display next to the actual brick model. Now let's take a look at the build. So every stage is 2 bags, so you see here's 1 and 2. You start with the chassis and you have the steering mechanism, which uses a bit of Technic style parts. As you continue to build, you see it gets more complicated, and you actually add gas pedal and some of the interior components. If we move to the 4 and 5 one, you can see now we have a license plate, some cool custom rear light components, so you can see the red and the orange, and the rear trunk is starting to come together with the floor and the underside. As we go forward, you can see the side sills are there, and you have the printing graphics. So that's a really nice feature. You can see all these parts have really crisp graphics that are not sticker sheets. And now you have the hinge mechanism for the trunk. As it comes together now, you can see the rear panel is starting to get built up, so you actually have the tan interior coming together, and some of the holes that will be later used for the roll cage and the luggage. Here you can see the luggage, really cool detail here. Kind of generic parts, but they come together and make it look like luggage, and you even have a shifter knob. And again, the steering mechanism is really just starting to come together. As you go forward, you start to build out the engine, so some of the front chassis details are there. Most of the coverings for the front engine bay are now assembled. And as you go forward, you can see now we have the side grills that extends the blue coloring, and a really cool little mechanism here for popping the trunk or the hood. So it's a little lever you push down and pushes up on there. Now the interior is almost done, so you can see beautiful plaid seats. They're actually pre-printed pieces. Same thing with the dashboard, it's a set of separate pieces, but they're all pre-printed, so they're obviously printed together and then cut. Then the inline 6-cylinder engine starts to come together. You can see some of the wires is just a simple mechanism there, and the exhaust and intake manifolds. Now we have the front grille, which is really cool, so a custom piece on the grille and custom lenses. Then you have the opening hood, which is a really nice detail. And here you can see the hood popper, which is really cool. Again, a couple custom pieces like the little bumps there on the hood that match the real design. As you get to the end, you can see this is the full street version. So a really beautiful model, feels substantial, it's very heavy. There are some fiddly parts like that side grille that you have to adjust, and the hood doesn't quite line up perfectly. You have to push down a bit, but really nice details. Otherwise, you have the spare wheel in the back, which is a cool detail, which is all actually metal. You have the exhaust, which is a separate piece, and again, all the badging and stuff like that is all detailed there and pre-printed. The Gullwing doors are manual. We would have expected to have a hinge, but you can see you can prop them up and lock them in place in the fully open position. There also is this race version, so with this one you drop the front bumper, you put the different hubcaps on there, you get side exhaust. It even has a custom race seat, and you actually drop the other seat and you remove the luggage and get a roll cage. So a pretty cool detail, and all looks really nice when it's fully assembled. Now let's compare the Mercedes 300 SL with the equivalent Lego models. Obviously it's a big question for a lot of people. Lego Creator has a lot of unique cars, from the Lamborghini Countach to the Porsche 911 to muscle cars like the Camaro convertible. And you can see scale-wise, they all fit really well together. So if you want to display them, you can see it really works together. They're similar in size, and everything's actually interchangeable. So the stud size for the Hot Wheels version is actually completely interchangeable. So you can swap parts between the models, and that should come up with some fun variations. Even the wheels can be literally swapped between the cars. The big difference between the Mattel version and the Lego version, I think, comes down to a couple things. First thing is the metal parts. So you can see the metal die-cast wheels are really beautiful, and they look a lot better than the simple plastic that you have on the Lego models. So it definitely lack the detail that you get obviously with a metal design. Some of the other metal details like the rear view mirror, I think those could be plastic and you wouldn't really notice, but the stuff like the badge is a really nice detail. The other difference is Mattel uses a lot more custom parts, and that's why it looks better. So if we compare the 911 to this, you can see the windshield is all just flat, generic pieces. And the Lego version actually had to resort to stickers to kind of get this curvature right on the rear quarter panel, on the window there. While something like the 300 SL uses fully custom piece. So then in a kind of sense, they cheated. You can see it's one single piece, perfectly designed. You get the trim, and I think that's kind of the sticky point. While it is fun building this, and you have really cool details like the roll cage here with the race version, a lot of opening parts, and again, metal pieces like the wheel, including the spare. You get nice detailed interior. It's a little bit like they've kind of cut corners by using the custom pieces rather than having you build it. And that's what gives the car a better shape. So that is one difference. You still get some creative uses like the chair, which really come together. And that's the fun part of building these. You don't know what you're building until it's actually done. Same thing with stuff like the engine here and the steering mechanism. But I think the big difference really is the fact that they have more custom pieces. The thing I like about the Mattel version is that there are no stickers. They're actually optional. So there is a sticker pack if you want to add numbers or the windshield banner, but it's completely optional. All the logos and branding you see here were printed directly on this, including the door handles, Mercedes SL, and the full interior piece is probably printed all together, and then you just assemble it. So it's very cool. You don't have to do stickers, because honestly, it's one of the worst parts about Lego. So this was a sticker. A lot of the interior pieces end up being stickers. So it's just a little bit more time consuming, and you can get the stickers to not be centered, which is really annoying. So if you're a perfectionist, getting the sticker alignment can be really annoying. So I really like the fact that they have that. They pre-printed the parts, but of course, the use of more specialized parts, I think, is one downside to this model. It would have been nice if there were more generic parts that kind of come together. Also, obviously, you get the mini car, the 1/64 scale version, which is a really cool complement and ties it back to the Hot Wheels brand. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Brick Shop Mercedes. What we like about it is you have a lot of clever die-cast details. You have the metal hubcaps, the metal wheels, front badge, even the side mirror and the rear mirror. They give the car a more realistic appearance and feel a lot higher quality. You also have pre-printed graphics instead of sticker sheets, so the front badge and rear badge are all pre-printed, including the dashboard and seats. And it's a nice improvement compared to Lego, where it's usually sticker sheets that you have to worry about lining up. There still is a sticker sheet included, but that's entirely optional if you want to put race numbers and badges on there. And finally, you get customized parts that make this model look a lot more realistic than an equivalent Lego. So the Gullwing doors, the front windshield, the rear glass, they're all custom pieces that give the car a much more smooth curve that you can't get with normal bricks. As far as negatives, you have manual Gullwing doors. We would have expected some kind of hinge mechanism. Instead, you have to lift it up and then put a little rod in there to lock it in place fully open. It does work, but we would have expected something more complicated. Also, there are some fragile details, so when you're handling the car, some pieces can fall out. That includes the front fender. There's not a lot holding it together, so you have to be careful if you touch it in the front. And even the side grills, they can easily rotate, so you always have to keep an eye out for that. And finally, the most controversial point here is a lot of custom parts kind of take away from the creativity of your traditional Lego set. So the windshield, stuff like that, they look really good, but it takes away from the brick design. It almost feels more like a hybrid of a real car and bricks. Taking everything into account would give the model a 9.4 out of 10. It's a premium DIY brick model that's really impressive as Mattel's first high-end Lego style set. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclists. This is a Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.